Okay. Do you guys see the little recording thing? I think it's working.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm super, super excited. Thank you so much, Britt, for coming on. I am pumped for you to be talking about this and talking a lot about like things that we all need to hear in like 70 different ways of like mindset and big goals and all of those like super, super important things. So I'm super excited. Britt and I have known each other since through this. Gosh, it's probably been like 3 years, 2.5 years, 3 years. But actually, like we live super, super close, but didn't know each other until this opportunity. So she is also Brooke's downline. And so we met because we were both fellow coaches of Brooke and we lived really close and got connected through probably, I don't know, I'd guess Super Saturdays and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
So yeah, if you want to give a little background on you and then we can just dive on in and then I'll have it recorded so that way everybody else can watch it later.
Amazing. Sounds good. I had like slides previously made, so I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'll just add to these. So I'll share my screen and let me know if you can see it. Okay. Hopefully that works. Share screen. Does that work?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Sometimes it freezes up a bit. Sometimes I like go into presentation mode, but then it's like you can't see. I want to see your faces too. So I love this topic. I love this topic on like mindset, vision, and growth. And I'm super excited to speak on this call, by the way. So thank you, Courtney, for inviting me to do that. I think it's just a great way to just like share each other's knowledge and just like this is what this community is all about. So basically my story, I used to be kind of like embarrassed to share this because I didn't have like this perfect startup where it was like I, found Brooke and started a program and then I miraculously lost all this weight. Like, that's just not my story and I have to own it. So as you can see, like I became a coach back in 2012. And then I was probably a coach for about a month. It was right after I just recently had graduated college. I had started my career in TV journalism. I had my first reporter job. And so that was really like my main focus. So I was kind of like a hobby stagnant coach. And then finally, it was in April of 2017 where I was able to essentially quote unquote re-sign up again with Brooke. So she had been a coach, long before that, but just decided to get back into it after being like a dabbler hobby coach. So depending on where you are, if you're watching this recording or you're on this call live, like you're investing time into your business for a reason. And so I feel like chances are what you're going to hear on this call is probably what you've heard before. But if you're like me, it took hearing you need to believe, you need to have a why, you need to have a vision over and over and over again before it really started to set in. And it's like, okay, it's not like these successful coaches have a secret sauce or have like this magic potion to like get all these like coach, like to be a successful coach. It's really that they perhaps have been in the business longer, they have time, they have consistency, they have this vision. And so I hope that this is just encouragement for wherever you are in your business to know like you can start at any point and you don't have to like feel guilty or feel ashamed of where you were. For so long, I was so like upset with myself for like wasting so much time and being a dabbler coach and being a hobby coach. And I had this story of like, I'm not where I want to be. And I'm just like, okay, I can either have that mindset or I can just choose to show up and attract the people who I want to find. So for example, what really helped me, and I think Brooke told me this, and then I'll get back into the slides, but what really helped me is she's like, Britt, would you want to attract 5 other yous? And at the time I was like, oh, I don't know. And what a gut check, right? Because it's like, if we're not showing up and being our best self and 10xing our efforts regardless of whatever your goals are, like having your effort match your action, then what are we doing here, right? Like that's why it's so important to really go all in. So I am someone who just decided to fail forward, and I still trip up once in a while, but I think for the most part, like there's just like this gut, this calling, this like whatever it is, I can't explain it, that it makes me feel like I'm in the right place. Like I need to keep doing this, even though in my mind I haven't achieved the success I want fast enough. But like that, everyone has their own journey. So I know that was a very long-winded answer of like my whole coach startup, but I just feel like we put so much pressure on having like this perfect curated startup when it doesn't have to be. Like if you were a discount coach for months and months and months, and then finally hearing this call, you want to like reach out to Courtney and be like, damn girl, like I want to do this thing. I'm here. I want to make this a full-time thing. That's amazing. So don't underestimate your capabilities and don't underestimate your vision. So again, like it says, I signed up in 2017, and I can honestly say, like, I feel like I have my PhD in coaching just because I'm someone in the beginning who would try to learn all the videos and try to learn all of like the, like basically I would sit on YouTube and watch all these training videos, but I wasn't taking the action. So I'm going to kind of go quickly here because I value your guys' time. But I love this quote, and I'm just going to touch on it very quickly here. Busy is not a badge of honor. I feel like we're all busy. And so it's not about being busy. It's really like you're not prioritizing your time well. And I'm not trying to like gut punch you there, but it's just the reality. Like we all have the same amount of time. It's like I am someone who can say that with confidence because I've been there where I wasn't prioritizing my time, and I would waste so much on a stupid little graphic that's not building my business forward. And yet I'm like, oh, I worked my business today. No, I didn't. So just be careful and like treat this like a CEO that you are. This is just coming to my mind, and I'm just going to like speak because I feel like I'll stay on target, but I'm also just like, I feel like you guys need to hear this. But like, for so long, I would treat this opportunity like, oh, it's just my side gig. It's just my side hustle. It's just what I do like on the side. Like I have my full-time TV producer job, but this is what I do on the side. And it's like, you're not, that posture is basically like saying like, this is a hobby essentially, versus you are a CEO of what could be a 6 to 7 figure business. How are you going to show up today? Like that's, whoa. Like, can you imagine if you had that posture for whoever you interact with? Like, are you treating this business? And honestly, I have to like check myself too. Cause I think on my Instagram, it's like, I have a side gig. It's like, how are you showing up with this business? Are you a CEO? And would you want to attract 5 other yous? So those are 2 things to really be aware of. Really quickly, here's just so you know, like I am someone that has made so many mistakes. So it's kind of like a surreal moment here to be able to speak on a call because I'm someone who never really considered myself a leader. I didn't create a plan. I would skip the vitals. I would be inconsistent. I would compare myself to other successful coaches. I wasted time scrolling the news feed. I would get caught up in like the no's. And hi, Tori. That's one of my coaches. I'm so glad she's on. And I would listen to training call after training call after training call, but yet I wasn't taking action. So if you're sitting here thinking like, oh man, I failed so many times in the past, all you need to know is that you can decide today and move forward how you're going to show up. That's the biggest thing I want you to get out of this call. Speaking of mistakes, I pulled up my old social media from like, gosh, I think this is like when I first started as a coach back in like when I was a coach with Brooke, like, I don't know, 2014. But I mean, like, you got to feel forward, right? You have humble beginnings, like the top 5 signs you need to refresh. I'm going to kiss the box, or I'm going to push through it and have all the graphics. Now, if you've done this, don't knock yourself. Like we've all been there. Or like I'm sorry, but like the Shakeology, I've been waiting for this to arrive. Like, great. What is it? It's a green box. Like, it's just so funny to me how, I mean, here's the thing, like we learn. So if you're watching this right now and you think, oh my gosh, I've totally done that. That's okay. We all make mistakes. And this is such a funny analogy, but like, you know, when you were riding your training wheels, you probably fell a couple of times. That's how you get better. The most successful coaches in this business are the ones who are, you know, willing to show up, fail forward. And I mean, now I mean, like, I'm getting better. I feel like I am someone who always wants to learn about social media marketing. And it's like, it's amazing what a filter would do thanks to Lightroom and just like really showing your faces, you guys. And also going beyond, and this is something I'm still working on, going beyond like a sweaty selfie. Like, you should have 5 things that really you want to share about and take time on this. Like, I know in our training, Brooke has like the color wheel. That's super important because you're not a Beachbody billboard, right? Like, people aren't going to buy, people can go on beachbody.com and get a product, but what you have to offer is you are your own superpower. So the moment you start comparing yourself, well, shoot, Amy has 70,000 followers, like frick. How do I compare? And like, you just have to understand that what you have to offer is your unique story, that someone that maybe can't relate to her can relate to you. So never doubt your capabilities and never put limits on yourself. Like, you guys, I've been doing this now for a couple of years, and it's like, I'm still learning. I'm still willing to, show up, because honestly, we have the privilege of sharing our journey on social media and helping other women so they don't feel alone. So it's like, don't treat it like a chore. Like, oh, I have to, check the box. This is my to-do list. Like, this is something like, honor the impulse of what got you here. Honor the impulse of why you said yes to this opportunity, and treat it like the CEO of a 6 to 7 figure business. If those aren't your goals, it's okay. Don't worry. But at the same time, you have to understand that that's what the potential is here. And if you're going to treat this like a hobby, that's how you'll get paid. And it's so much more than income, but I just wanted to share that with you. I get so passionate, don't I? I also, just so you all know, I have like 10 mindset tips that are going to completely blow your mind as much as they've blown my mind. And so just be prepared for that. And I'll go through that in just a little bit here. We have all seen this before, the vital behaviors, but how often are you doing them? How often are you showing up consistently on a daily basis? Like, if you could score yourself, 1 out of 10. And again, however you're showing up, is that the person you would want to attract? And I'm sure Courtney has honed in on this so many times, but being the proof, the product, that's why it's so important to, show up in your fitness journey, recognize that your challengers, invite like crazy. And you guys, I used to be scared of inviting, but now it's like, well, what's your posture? Are you feeling like it's like inviting is scary because you're afraid of rejection? Well, now it's about you. It's not, now you made it about yourself, which is just ego, right? But if you said, I know what this gift has offered me, and I'm just going to share it just like I would to my Aunt Sally to go see an awesome movie that I loved. There's no different. We're just in our mind. We just treat it like this scary thing because we feel like, the rejection is a real thing. But it's like, that's not, our job is, it doesn't matter like if they say no or yes. Our job is just to say, hey, like, this is a solution that's worked for me. Maybe it could for you too. Do you want to come to my party and check this out? I think you should. And remember, you could post something on social media, but chances are if people are scrolling through and they just see like, you're invited to my party, they're not going to come, because it's like they really want to have that personal connection, that personal touch from you. And it can be so simple, you guys. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to overthink it. Like I always say, invite how you want to be invited. So if you want to go to someone's, Instagram, and maybe they're a good friend of yours, or maybe you just met on Instagram, I would just say, like, of course, you can get to know them, but if they're watching your stories and if they're loving on your posts, I'm going to send an invite. Thank you so much for all the support, girl. Like, would you want to do want to say more info to see if it would be a good fit? Like, 2 sentences. Like, that's all it has to be. It doesn't have to be this drawn out thing. But again, it has to be, you have to feel like excited about it. Like, if it's like, oh, these aren't my words, but I'm going to push send anyway. It's like, no, let's change that. Because if it doesn't feel authentic to you, chances are it's not going to be received well. And please do personal development. This is something that I've also haven't been consistent with and I can feel it. I really can easily get into my mind and think, oh, like they said, no, I guess I'm not cut out for this. Like there are so many successful coaches that have incredible businesses. And if they were to just throw in the towel at the first curve in their, the down roller coaster entrepreneur life, right? They wouldn't be where they are. And that's what grows you. Okay. So just, there's so much I want to say, but I'm going to get to it. So going into, definitely have a way of tracking who you're talking to is so important. Just remember that objections are normal and so worth it. Honestly, it's a mindset. So if you feel like, oh man, like everyone's saying no, switch it, because it's like, I sent 20 invites, but one person said yes. You just changed that person's life. Like really get clear on what we're offering here, you guys. Like I respect every single network marketing company out there. I think it's awesome that average people can make extraordinary lives. But remember that we are absolutely giving this lifestyle as a gift. Like people who can get their cholesterol down, people who can gain their life back and their confidence and their energy and have more time to like play with their kids versus just selling like a lip gloss. Like that's something I'm super proud of. That's something I'm so excited about. So remember, like, I don't know, like I'm kind of going in circles here, but just remember why it's so important to send the invites, do your personal development, and have a system to track who you're talking to. And then it's going to feel like you really have ownership over your business. It's going to be a lot more fun versus like you're just spinning your wheels. Okay, so this is like the fun part. We're going to get into these mindset and vision tips, and I think I have 8. So I want you to remember that you should honor the impulse you got to saying yes as a coach. The world, I think, and this might sound a little woo-woo, but I really feel like the world is rigged in our favor. So for whatever reason, if you're watching this recording or you're here on live, you're treating this like a business. You're investing time into your business. So you owe it to yourself to really follow through on those vitals that we talked about earlier. And just like showing up even when it's hard, okay? That's the whole idea of honor that impulse. I forgot number 2. That's okay. But okay. So remember, like, what is your why beyond just helping people? What do you want your life to look like in the next 6 months to a year? And I know that you've heard this before time and time again, but there's a reason why it keeps coming up, because it's like, yes, we all want to help people, but we also could go volunteer on the weekends, right? How can this truly change your family's life? How can this change the life of your friends and your family and the people you have yet to meet? I think you should spend, and I have to do this myself, at least 10 to 15 minutes, however long it takes, to just like take out a piece of paper and start writing. Like if time and money weren't an issue, what would I really want to create? Because the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to put limits on ourselves. And then we're going to feel silly because it's like, oh, I really shouldn't dream that big. But that's ridiculous. Like, this is your chance, like, to really get out of your comfort zone and start to create a vision that is going to help you show up on the days you don't feel like it. A lot of these tips are from Brendon Burchard. So they may sound familiar, but he wrote the book Charged Life, High Performance Habits. So he's an incredible speaker, entrepreneur, and a self-help coach, business coach too. He said that you're either living a caged life, a comfortable life, or a charged life. And so when you think about it, a caged life is like kind of something where you have so much potential, but you're really just putting so many limits on yourself. A comfortable life, as Grant Cardone would say in Be Obsessed or Be Average, is almost like the worst place to be in, because cage life is at least you're desperate to want to change your situation. But if you're comfortable, you're almost just coasting. And if you're coasting, you're not really going to push yourself to want to like get out of that comfort zone, because, how often have you told yourself things are okay, things are fine, they're not great, but they're okay. Well, now is your chance to really understand like what you're sitting on and what you want to create with this, and choosing to show up today and do what others won't so you can live like others can't. And it's like, so often we've seen successful coach after successful coach that grinded it out for a year or two to then have options. Money provides options and time freedom, financial freedom, whatever your goals look like. Just really hone in on like what you want to create. And so you can eventually live that charged life where you're excited, where you don't have the Sunday scaries, where you're excited to like, you're fulfilled and you have purpose and you have direction. As humans, like, we need growth. If we don't have growth, we just sort of are coasting. And I've done the whole autopilot lifestyle, and it's not fun. It just is like, you just kind of feel like you're in a funk. So the next one is real confidence comes from belief and the ability to figure things out, being resourceful. And again, this business is, you learn and you go and you grow at the same time. I'm someone in the business of television as a TV producer and former morning reporter. You weren't allowed to make mistakes. Like, it would happen, but like spelling errors or, making sure your facts are right. Like, so I have like this perfectionist mindset because of my, full-time career. Like, I have to be on point. Just like teachers and nurses, obviously, like, you have to get your stuff right. So there was like this pressure of being perfect, but honestly, like, taking no action and having like the most beautiful PDF for your new coaches isn't going to grow your business. But messy action, failing forward, and, like driving forward with passion and excitement, that's going to create energy. That's going to create momentum. And people are naturally going to gravitate towards you, not because of the pretty graphic, but because you're showing up and you're going somewhere. People want to join someone who's going somewhere. That's just how we are. It's pretty incredible. So, and that's where the confidence comes from. Like, you could probably go to Courtney and say, hey, Court, I have a question. Or you can be resourceful and go to your unit section or go to YouTube or Google and just get the answer right away versus like, going to her. Being resourceful is going to build up your confidence. And honestly, it teaches your coaches and coaches to do the same thing versus relying on your upline. Remember, you have to take ownership. Courtney invited you to this opportunity, but now it's your business. So she's not going to build it for you. Okay. All right. Number 6. Oh, this is so important, you guys. Who are you surrounding yourself with? You are, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Maybe your friends and your family think that this business is a scam. And but I want you to remember that their lack of support does not slow your progress. That's why it's so important to do personal development. And maybe your family think it's amazing and they want to join you. I'm not sure what your situation is, but it is inevitable that you will have naysayers. It is inevitable that people will judge you for what you're doing. But get this, they're going to judge you for what you don't do. Everyone is going to have an opinion. I mean, it's just, think about it this way. Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Ellen DeGeneres, I'm sure they all had naysayers, but man, we're in good company because think about how successful they are. So I would say be really protective of who your inner circle is. And it's okay. Like, if people don't understand or they don't get it, it's more of a them thing versus a you thing. So don't take it personally. It's just more fuel to your fire, more reason to keep diving into personal development to really shape your mindset. I heard this on another call and it's just coming to me, but success, 95% of success is your mindset. 5% is strategy. Because really, think about it, like how often do you hear, you kind of attract what you think. You are what you think. It's all mindset. So like, if you're not getting the results you're looking for, chances are it's a story that you've pre-programmed, that you've put like this cap on yourself. Like, I can only get Success Club 5. And then if that's the story you're telling yourself, you're naturally going to self-sabotage you because that's what your like quote unquote thermostat is on. That's an analogy because it's like you're always going to go back to where you've preset that level. Okay. So it's up to you to raise the bar and take action to just kind of bust that, cap that you put on yourself. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll have time for questions after. Motivation, I don't know. Some people say it doesn't exist. Some people say it does, but this is what I've learned so far. What motivates you? How do you find motivation? You're going to show up on days you're excited, but ambition gets poisoned when perfection enters the seed. So again, we go back to that perfectionist mindset. You don't do yourself a favor and drop that. Like, done is better than perfect. Sending 15 invites and getting out of your comfort zone is better than 2 perfect ones, okay? This is a business of action and doing and feeling forward. This is super good, you guys. And when I heard this, I was like, whoa, gut check. But inconsistent attention is the cause of fleeting motivation. So think about like your business as a moving escalator. So when you go on the escalator, it naturally is going to push you up. But think of it if it's like going backwards. And so you're trying to get up this escalator that's pushing you down. So when you stop the vitals, when you stop taking action in your business, you're naturally going to have that, you're going to be pushed down. And from experience, trying to stop and restart, like dabbling is the death of your business, because you get so excited and then you stop. And then all of that momentum and hard work, you go back to where you started again. And that's where the defeat comes in and you feel not as confident. And so do yourself a favor and just stay consistent. Pick a number, whether it's 15 invites, 20 invites, 10 invites, whatever you feel, and stick with that every single day without fail. That's a promise you're making to yourself. So it's like, if you stop and you don't show up that one day, you're really just like, you're sort of breaking that promise and your confidence, because it's like you're sort of like quitting on yourself. Again, has the attitude that you have now in the last 6 months been sufficient enough to take you to the next 6 years? Like, whoa, that's kind of deep, right? Like, however you're showing up in your business, do you feel like you can get to where you want to go in the next 6 years from now? It's okay if not. Self-awareness in this business is the absolute key. And those who are the most self-aware, I swear, are the most successful coaches, because they're always looking for ways to assess and improve, look back at where they failed, get over it, and just keep moving and make those tweaks. It doesn't have to be big tweaks, but they do. And your attitude is everything. So when it comes to motivation, the way Brendon talked about it is that there's a spark and a flame and a bonfire. And so a spark is basically your ambition and your expectancy. And like, basically, what are you expecting? Like, in the next 90 days from now, Q4 is actually the most important quarter in your business, because it's going to carry you through to that, exciting time for health and fitness industry, where it's January and February and New Year's resolutions are kicking off. If you hustle now, can you imagine how explosive your hard work is going to be in January? Because this is a delayed business, a very much delayed business, where the work you're putting in now is going to pay off, 3 months from now. So just remember that as you're working your business. The flame is attention and effort. The more attention you're giving something, the more it will grow. I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but that's kind of like a universal law, right? The more you focus on something, the more you'll get. And which is great, because we have that control. There's a lot of things in this business you can't control, but really, if you control the controllable, you're going to be better off. And finally, the bonfire is attitude and environment, in giving yourself that gratitude, being positive and optimistic regardless of your circumstances, is just going to help you enjoy this business so much more, because there are a lot of ups and downs. I mean, if this was an easy thing to do, everyone would do it. But at the same time, it's not like it's what is that quote? It's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. And when you think about it, it's a $160 investment. But if you invested $160,000 like some franchises, you would show up. You would get your investment back. So sometimes you have to treat it that way. Like kind of, with your mind, like if you, whatever motivates you, but like if you thought, okay, Carl Deichler, the CEO of this incredible company, he's going to give everyone $5,000 if you hit his success club. I probably would imagine you would hit it, right? Because it's like, you just like, boom, it's urgency, direction, your goals. Like you all of a sudden are like, all right, let's go. Like it's not like, oh, I don't know what to do, I'm going to sit here and scroll. It's like you have direction and urgency. And that is like the secret sauce, really. Kind of wrapping up because I know our time here is coming to an end here, but dream bigger sooner. Like stop thinking about what is obtainable. Okay. Why are you here? Why did you say yes? Think about like the you before you started coaching and the you now, and then the you where you want to be 6 months to a year from now. Always be casting your vision on your social media, because you may think like everyone knows what I'm doing, but you have to constantly tell your story again and again and again, because the idea is that you're going to constantly get new eyeballs on your page. So most people don't realize that people have a problem because they're so unhappy with their own life. It doesn't add up to, I don't know why. I'm just like reading my notes there. But again, I'm going back to how are you treating this business? So why we have to believe, all successful coaches, the one thing that they have in common is the belief. It's so, that's how simple this is. And you may believe in coaching because you're here on this call. You probably believe in the products because you work out every single day, but this is the missing link that a lot of people miss. Do you believe in yourself? You may look at Courtney and be like, oh, of course Courtney can do that because she's freaking amazing. I couldn't do that. The moment you say that, you're thinking it, and so you feel like it's true. So I encourage you to just shift your perspective and shift your mindset, because I mean, it's so, so important. And finally, just like keep it simple, you guys. Be obsessed with this journey. Like honor the process, honor the struggle. There will be hard days. Anticipate it, but then just know that you can show up the next day and give it your best. Like we have the opportunity to grow into the best versions of ourselves and inspire people along the way. And imagine what it will feel like, because this has happened to me and I'm so grateful for it. When people said, wow, because you show up, it makes me feel like I can show up. And then I didn't quit on myself. Like that's what we have as like these wellness influencers. You're not a Beachbody billboard. You are so much more than that. And it's the posture, it's the confidence, it's the belief. It all adds up. Right now, I want you to kill the doubt. Like kill it, kill it, kill it. Because it is keeping you stuck and it's causing space where your belief needs to be. You can have all the resources, listen to all the trainings, and you can have everything handed to your fingertips, but you will not be a successful coach if you have doubt. We all had doubt at one point, but the way to kill it is showing up, being consistent, taking action, doing your personal development over and over and over again, and adding one pebble to your pile every single day. Because it may not feel like a lot, but at the end of the year, you're going to look at that pile and it's going to be a freaking mountain, and you didn't quit. Again, just taking action and believe. And just like, that's the thing, like, because of you, I didn't quit. And how powerful. You have to remember why you're doing this, and that we have the power truly to change lives. That's what this is about. And it's like, I don't know about you, but coaching has just given me so much more purpose and fulfillment, because what I'm doing is bigger than me. Like I'm a part of something that's bigger than me. And for that, I am so grateful for. Yay! Any questions?
Yay! Thank you so much, Britt. Oh my God, that was amazing. I feel like I was just like
Yay.
scribbling down notes, even though like I'm like, you always like learn new things and different stuff as you hear it from other people's perspectives. And I love it how you're just painting such a big picture for everyone. And it is totally true. Like it's all about, posture, confidence, belief in yourself and what we get to offer to everybody. And if you have that, then you're unstoppable. So I'm so excited. Thank you so much for presenting that to us.
Absolutely.
I know that this is going to cut us short, but did anybody have any questions before we hop off? No. Okay, so I am going to, it's been recording, so I'm going to just upload that to YouTube so that way everybody who wasn't here can go ahead and watch that. But thank you so much for presenting on it today. I'm so excited that you're here.
You're welcome.
All
Bye,
right.
you guys.
See you guys later.